Welcome everybody, welcome for being with us, Swadika, benvenuti. Today we'll speak about high quality technologies, technologies for food processing and for the packaging technology. Just a short introduction about me. My name is Sonia Bennati. I am an Italian journalist involved in food processing and packaging technology. I am also the editorial manager of an Italian publishing house, Editrice Zeus. With me, I want to thank you immediately, Giuseppe Donofrio, project manager of the Italian Chamber of Commerce, that support us since a long time and support Italian industry that work and are going to work in the local areas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Thank you to all the speakers and, of course, also to everybody present and the organization of PROPAC today. I think this is a fantastic opportunity to discuss about made in Italy and its amazing qualities, of course, that everybody represents today. Yes, as you mentioned, today I have the pleasure of representing the Thai Italian Chamber of Commerce. We have been active in Thailand for more than 40 years, promoting Made in Italy across many different sectors. We work with food and beverage, automotive, of course, machineries, packaging machineries, manufacturing, and of course also other industries like tourism and energy, for example. I think today is a great opportunity to continue on this idea of the promotion of Made in Italy. And I would like to say that in my experience here, I've had the opportunity to discuss with the producers here in Thailand, for example, food processing, but also adhesive tapes for industrial use. And I visited their factories and I noticed, and I've also been told actually, that they really believe that the Italian machineries is the best. I had the opportunity to see with my own eyes that they use inside their factories the Italian machineries, and I've been told that they rely on it quite significantly, even though here in Thailand we have some competition with the German machineries. But from my understanding, the thing they really appreciate about the Italian machineries here is that they are more versatile and more specialized compared to other competitors like the German ones. So I really think this is a good opportunity to discuss further. Thank you very much.
Giuseppe, thank you for your words because it's very, I'm very proud to hear that, and actually I have also to say that I face this every day. I meet companies around the world. So let me immediately go into the discussion, introducing our speakers. I want to start on my right to Davide Anzaloni, International Business Development and Trade Compliance Manager of UCIMA. UCIMA is an important association that collects more than 200 companies involved in wrapping and automating machines. By his side, we have Emanuele Piva, Global Sales Director of PA Labelers. PA Labeler is an Italian company involved in labeling, nowadays part of the Promac Group. The Promac Group is a very huge company, an American company that collects a lot of brands specialized in bottling and filling liquids. And here, Guasir Moncalves, Sales and Development Director Asia Pacific for the Italian company Tecnopac Group. Tecnopac Group is one of the main stakeholders in the packaging with 4 decades of experience behind. But I want to start immediately from Davide. Davide, who is UCIMA and what do you do for the Italian companies but also for the international markets?
Thank you very much, Sonia. I would like to start thanking you for inviting us, for organizing this special event. It's very important to be here today, and a special thanks also to the audience, both the one that is present here and the one who is following this talk online. Like you mentioned, UCIMA is a national trade association representing Italian manufacturers of packaging machinery. We gather around 200 members who operate both in the construction of machinery and in the manufacturing of components that are used within those machines. This means that there are many members in our association, and the entire supply chain is represented within our association. And if I have to summarize what does UCIMA do, I would say that we do mainly 3 things. The first one is to be the key interlocutor with public powers in order to promote the value of Italian technology. Second activity is to provide daily consultancy to our members, for example, on customs law, technical regulations, environmental regulations, and how to finance, for example, the day-by-day operations, and so on. The third activity is to manage both national and international networks in order to foster the growth of our industry and to develop the workforce. In other words, we can say that we want to make sure that the entrepreneurial and industrial heritage that has been built along the years will be spread around our country and will be pushed forward in the future. Just a couple of words related to our sector, because although this is not perhaps the sector that is one of the most well-known Italian sectors all around the world, like I would say fashion, luxury, or
food,
motorsport, or food, this is a very, very interesting sector. First of all, because it's a sector in which Italy plays a leading role. And I thank Giuseppe for mentioning that, because if we take into consideration the production of packaging and wrapping machinery, and if we put together the production of Italy and Germany, we have more than the half of the entire production on a global level. So Italy is one of the leaders of this sector. And I would like to give you some figures. For example, in Italy, we have around 600 companies operating in this sector that generate revenues for around 10 billion euros and creating more than 40,000 jobs. And this is a figure that I think it's very, very important, because if we think about the leading technology and the leading position of Italy in the manufacturing of this kind of machinery, it's not difficult to understand that this is a sector that is export-led. And more than 80% of the machinery that are produced in Italy are for foreign customers. Last but not least, I would like to mention the fact that in this sector, we don't have only a high-level technology, but also we have this high-level technology declined in many fields. For example, we have applications in food, beverage, chemical, cosmetics, tobacco. So we have many, many sectors in which this technology is developed. And this is very important because this means that all those companies have a great capability to understand the customer needs and to adapt the machinery on their needs, even if we are talking about very different products that need to package and wrap.
Exactly, yes. One of the main topic of the Made in Italy in our field is that Italians are able to adapt the technologies and customize very precisely, to the field and to the needs of the industry. This is why are so appreciated, globally speaking, in several fields. Yes, Italians are well known for the food and fashion, but actually we are very well known in our field, in our industries, because of the high quality technologies. So I want to also now speak with Emanuele about the labeling, because also this sector is quite challenging, no? So how PA Labelers faces and they face along the years the challenges of the market?
Thank you. I don't know, I hope you can hear me. I think that in this 51 years of history, because PA Labelers is maybe the oldest company in Italy for this application, we've been always well known for one point that I think is the one that was helping us to arrive here in a leading position, that was the R&D. So we were never waiting for what the market was answering, but we were asking, but we were always trying to anticipate the need, trying to understand where the market was growing and offering solutions. So this is was in our DNA from the founder that was bringing us to be one of the biggest company for this world. And this was helping us to be really in every sector. Like we were just saying now, the packaging is very wide, and we are labeler producer, but we are able to apply our solution in all the sector, because we are working in the detergent, we are working in the beverage, in the alcohol, in the wine. So at the end, it's like really to meet the expectation of very different customer with a lot of different area of need. For sure, what we were emphasizing and what we were trying to be in the years, a partner. So not just a supplier, and this is the winning aspect. I mean, trying to not sell a machine and escape, I mean, but to be with our customer in the year. So to see them growing like we were growing, and to be them, to be their partner for the future need. This is really something that we are proud, and we were able to grow together with many other Italian customers, but with also with a very world scale number of people that were following in our solution.
Got it. Yes, I know your company very well, your group. Partnership is one of the main values, or I suppose also all the companies, no? All the Italian companies with the customers. But I want to just focus for a while relating the AI. I met you several times along the exhibitions and the world, and for example, I remember at DrinkTech in the 25, you display a very interesting solution that was designed with the AI that shows the solution and this activity through the AI.
Yeah, I mean, this is one area where, again, we were trying to anticipate the need of the customer. I mean, since we were starting to talk about AI, we all understood the potential of these tools, but it was very difficult to, at least until some months ago, to understand where to apply it in the proper way. So we were starting to use AI in our machine, and together with this incredible power, we were able to discover much more than what we were expecting. So at the end, we were able to have a machine that is much more friendly compared to what it was before, because the AI is like we are using today to ask a question to our phone when we don't know something, is really a partner that is helping the end user to improve his knowledge, to improve his efficiency, and to have someone answering to your question. So today, especially when we are talking about a company that is based in Italy, in Europe, and is looking for the world, one thing that is more and more important is the answer to the need. And to have a machine that is answering directly without having the interface that is the producer is really a lot for our customers. So this, I think, it was something that we started when it was something, I don't say like a pioneer, but for sure in our world, in the packaging industry, we were one of the first to believe in this potentiality, and we are experiencing and we are growing on it every day.
Yes, of course. Yes, let's remind to us that all the food industries, not just the local, but international food industry, beverage industries, has to face a lot of challenges in the market, no? So have to be safe, have to be innovative, have to be fast for the time to market. So it's very important to be able to be supported by reliable technology that could respond to the needs of the customers and of the market as well. So relating the packaging, we could speak about packaging for several hours, but we do not have the time. Packaging is important in every field, and mainly in the food industry. So, Moacir, could you please explain to us what kind of technology Tecnopack Group supply to the food industries?
Well, first of all, thank you for having us today here. So Tecnopack Group is already a 40 years company. So along these 40 years, we have been developing more packaging systems. So we are able now to propose and develop from product handling systems, primary pack, secondary packing, tertiary packing up to the end of the lines. So end of the lines, that means we can propose intra-logistics, palletizing systems, and LGVs up to automatic truck loading. We are not only limited for food products, also other segments, especially for the end of the lines, on beverage, tires, food, of course. And we are not only thinking inside the box. So the good thing for Technopak is we listen to the customer and we do customized solutions for every single project. That's our strength. We've been in the market for 40 years. We have been very successful in Asia. That is a very competitive market with our good friends from Europe, of course, and China. The good thing about Technopak is we design and manufacture 100% of our production in-house in Italy. Okay, so talking about customers, most of our customers bring some challenge to us according to the product, how delicate is the product. We have to handle in the proper way and give the maximum flexibility, of course, and cost benefit to the customers.
So, what we can say, for example, Davide, relating the international companies that probably or maybe could be interested in the Made in Italy technologies, why they could or how they could reach you to have some replies relating technologies or maybe new challenges that they want to face?
Yeah, sure. I think that this is a very good question because it's the question that frequently is asked also by international buyers. So what's inside an Italian machinery if compared to another manufactured machinery in other countries that makes the Italian machinery, I would not say better, but on the edge of technology. Some of these elements has been mentioned during the presentation of the other speakers. The first one is the strong commitment and strong orientation to the customer. So the capability to listen and to understand what the customer is asking and to adapt the product to their special needs. The second one, I think, can be summarized with the word reliability, because many buyers know far better than me that an unexpected stop of their machinery is something that can cause very big damages. And so this kind of reliability that you can find in Italian machinery is not just made by R&D processes or perhaps quality controls, but is based on experience. As I mentioned before, in Italy this technology has its profound roots, and so we can offer this kind of reliability based on the experience that has been made along the years. The third element is something very peculiar because we have capability to melt both competencies in electronic and mechanical sector, what we call mechatronics, and this is something on which Italy is the world leader. And we have developed also a strong commitment to sustainability, and last but not least, the last thing that comes in an offer is always the price. And sometimes some buyers consider the Italian technology a little bit more expensive. But this is not a piece of garment, so we should not focus on the price tag. We are talking about a machinery that will go together our customer for many, many years. And so we try to let all those buyers understand that the total cost of ownership is the parameter on which they should base their choice. And given the high quality and the high reliability, this is an aspect on which Italy can be far better than the competition.
Yes, of course. Also because high quality technologies permit do not waste time and so do not waste money. So let me also remind to our audience that if they want to meet in person a lot of Italian companies involved in packaging and in all the segments, I mean, of the packaging, the labeling, but also the processing, should also come in Italy in the 28th in Milan during one of the most important events that is IPACK-IMA.
Exactly. This is one of the activities I wanted to mention because this is the place where the high-end technology made by Italian companies is showcased. It's a very important event that is held every 3 years, and it will be held in 2028 in Milan. This is a place where materials and technological solutions for both packaging and processing are showcased. And so it's very important for us in front of an international audience to mention that we have set up an international buyers program that allow international buyers to take part of the incoming project. They can candidate their company, and we will evaluate the interest regarding Italian technologies, and we offer a travel package and a personalized agenda with meetings with Italian exhibitors. So I think that IPACK-IMA is one of the most important events that will happen in Italy regarding this sector in the coming years.
Of course. On May 28 is the place to be if you want to visit and see a lot of very good technology, mainly Italian, but not only Italian, because it's an international event. Emanuele, PA Labelers is present all over the world and have been joined ProPack Asia several times. What's the main challenges that you find here in the local areas and that you maybe have you solved?
For sure, like Davide said, the perception today, more and more for a European product, is to be maybe a product that is not cheap, because we have a strong competition coming from Asia, coming from China, coming from other countries that are for sure emerging, where the cost of the labor is cheaper. And so the challenge is to transfer what exactly Davide said, so that, of course, I mean, to produce something in Europe is higher in terms of cost, and of course we have to be able to transfer the right approach to our customer that, of course, make money using our equipment. I mean, just to mention that one of the most recent study was showing that the consumer in front of a package, we are producing labeler, so 30% of the consumer, they decide to buy something according to the quality of the label, so according to what they see and according how it is applied. So for sure, our challenge is to grant them, to grant our customer to be profitable using our machine and to be profitable for years. An investment for a machine produced by us last 20 years at least. So of course, when a buyer have different opportunities, sometimes the price is important. Is important in our normal life as a buyer. But at the end, I mean, the final result is to be able to use the machine for many years in a good and profitable way. So we, of course, is a challenge more and more because the market is becoming very competitive in all over the world. But like Davide said, the experience of being producer since for us 50 years help to try to be always one step forward the competition and to grant something more to our customers.
Of course, of course. Also for the food industry, the market is quite heavy, quite difficult, no? So the food industry have to show their products in the right way, in the better way, also considering that consumers, when buy anything, are attracted by also the package, but also read what is inside. So a good package and a good label could show in the right way a safe product and a good product to be bought from the consumer. So what we can say relating Technopak in the local market? You supply a lot of fields, but mainly bakery and confectionery, if I don't get wrong.
That's right. So in Asia, the main market for us is confectionery, like cakes, chocolate bars, cereal bars, and bakery. Yeah. So that means biscuits and biscuits. The main concern for the market for us now today is competition from local competition and mostly from China. But our strength is we have a possibility to offer very automatic machines with high reliability and speed. There is a cost, of course. We cannot compare with local manufacturers. But there is a segment that customers are still looking for fully automatic machines, especially nowadays regarding the labor cost that's keep increasing in Asia. So more and more customers are focused not only on primary packaging, but also on secondary packaging.
How much is important for you customization?
A lot, very much, because most of our projects, especially in Asia, are a challenge. It's not like you have to think out the box. That means you have to sometimes develop a new system for the customers. I'm not talking about the machine or the flow wrapper, but the handling system, everything before arrives to the flow wrapping machine. Especially some products that are very delicate, special shapes, and the way these products are discharged to us. So that's a challenge for us and our strength compared to local competition, that they have more or less machines and equipments done in a series of production. They don't have that kind of experience.
So also Technopak, I would remind that try every day to respond to the needs of the market, no? And one of these replies was, for example, the ATL that I had the opportunity to see launched during the last Interpack. That is a very interesting solution that permitted to the companies to load on the truck directly from the factory their pallets.
Yes, you're right, Sonia. So this was a big impact during the Interpack that we display this LTL is already in operation there, simulating loading a container, running during the whole show. So that was a big advantage for us now, having this LTA. So LTA is not only limited to loading trucks or containers, but also unloading trucks and containers.
So let's underline the advantages for the companies.
I'm sorry?
Let's underline the advantages for the companies that use ATL.
Well, the advantage is, of course, less manpower. So you can program in advance how you load the containers or the trucks. So everything is controlled and prepared in advance of the pallets in position. So the ATLs, they pick up the product, the pallets, load the containers accordingly, and this to reduce the manpower, of course, in inventory.
And also, the industries can keep on and on their process without any stop,
right,
without any danger of
correct, especially for tracking the, the movement of the pallets and inventory, everything.
Giuseppe, I want to ask you, since that you know very well the local market, but also the Italian industry, how do you support the Italians here, specifically in the food industry?
Oh, yeah, of course. Actually, I need to say that the industry we focus the most is actually the food and beverage because, of course, Italy is very famous for that, although we have other excellencies, for example, technology, military equipment, and so on. But we organize several events to connect Italian businesses and food producers with the local importers and distributors. We have more than 5 very big events throughout the year dedicated to Made in Italy. From March to November, we are very busy with the organization of these events that are basically B2B professional platforms where we connect exhibitors who are the producers with the importers and distributors, or of course the end users, let's say, who are of course the HoReCa sector, so hotels, restaurants and caterings. So that's mainly what we do.
So Davide, also I want to come back to you because all of our speakers here are in the international markets and in the local one. Ucima is, as an association, present all over the world. You do a lot of things for your associated companies. So what are the next appointments along the next month?
Yeah, well, we, as you mentioned, we do a lot of things in order to approach foreign markets. I would say that Perhaps the first one, the first thing that is meant to be mentioned is the fact that since we have deep knowledge regarding the production and the technologies that are produced by our members, we can be the right point of contact for any kind of buyer that could be interested in buying Italian technology. And so if we receive your needs or your interest regarding an Italian packaging and wrapping machinery, we can address you to the right partner. So we can be your point of contact for the Italian market. Second thing is that we operate with what I call the outgoing activities. So we bring Italian companies to a trade exhibition all around the world. For the ones who did not visit yet, you can meet a lot of them also here at Pavilion C2. And for what concerns the next activities, we have activities both here in Asia, like in Indonesia, but also in Africa, in Senegal. And so we are operating all over the world to bring our companies there. Then we have some incoming initiatives through which we invite foreign buyers in Italy to meet Italian companies, and we schedule both appointments and business visits, company visits in Italy. And last but not least, I would like to mention two things. The first one was IPACIMA that we already mentioned, and the second one is an industry research center that is owned by UCIMA. It is called MEX, that stands for Manufacturing Economy Studies. We provide both on yearly basis and monthly basis research, analysis, forecasts regarding both Italian and international markets that can be a very useful analytical tool both for set strategies and decision making. So many things that the association do both for their own members, but especially for international buyers interested in this kind of technology.
Great. So just to summarize, I think that the keywords could be flexibility,
Sure.
customization, and innovation for all of you.
Correct.
Correct. Maybe you can also share your business cards or your contacts then during the refreshment. You can also contact them through the link, through the image that you will see. So we have all the email and all the contacts. And I want to thank Davide Anzaloni for UCIMA, Emanuele Piva for PA Labelers. I want to thank Guasir Moncalves for Tecnopack Group. And want to thank you so much to Giuseppe Donofrio for the Thai and Italian Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much, and write to our speakers who have more information in private.